Hi there guys, welcome back to part 4 of how to succeed with email marketing using solo ads. In the previous 3 parts of these videos, I have mentioned about the email marketing process flow, which talks about the general holistic approach to looking at email marketing. In part 2, I mentioned about choosing your domain, how to do a domain blacklist check, as well as purchasing your domain with Bluehost. In the previous part of this training series, I also talk about how to create your personalized email address, certain DNS settings of your domain within Bluehost, as well as using a free plugin within WordPress, which is an interface within Bluehost itself, in order to cloak your affiliate links related to your domain. If you have missed any of these parts, please refer to the links in the description box below this video to further view them. So in today's video, we are going to talk about warming up your email address. Why do we need to warm up our email address? What exactly does warming up our email address mean? Now, the end objective is because when you warm up your email address, it reduces significantly the possibility and probability of your emails landing into the spam folder of your target list. I want you guys to think about this. If your list is potentially pretty responsive, that means to say there are people who are really looking out for whatever niche products that you're trying to promote. It can be health niche, make money online niche, whatsoever. However, if most of your emails are landing into the spam folder, how often do you even check your spam folder within your Gmail account? Very, very once in a blue moon. Very, very rarely. Am I right? So, to prevent this thing from happening, we need to warm up our email address so that your emails will potentially land into the primary folder or even the promotional folder, but rarely into the spam folder, because that is what we want as email marketers. If most of your emails are landing into the spam folder, there's nothing else to talk about. You can't track your open rate, you can't track your click-through rate effectively. And in fact, as time goes by, there's even a possibility of all the email autoresponders banning your account because it's eventually affecting their IP reputation as well. A very common question that I get asked is, do we really need to warm up our email address whenever we do email marketing? Well, my answer is no. It depends on what sort of traffic you are getting. For example, if you are doing an e-commerce store and your email list is made up of all your buyers, there's literally no need to warm up your email address. Why do I say that? Because most of your buyers will effectively open or even click on certain links in your emails because they're already your buyers. Second scenario that I can think of is, for example, when I'm sending emails to my students using a particular email address, I don't warm it up because my students will definitely open and click on the emails. However, if you're doing cold email marketing, yes, it's going to be very critical for you to warm up your email address. Let's now talk about the technicalities about what exactly does warming up your email address mean. If you guys can see from my graph over here, think about it. The domain that you purchase is relatively new, not to mention the email address that's associated with your domain. So whenever you are sending emails to common ESPs like Gmail, Yahoo, they look at your domain as very fresh. So what is the chance of them really pushing your domain into the primary folder immediately? Very low. Why? Because there are too many spammy emails going around the internet space nowadays. So warming up your email address will include things like on the back end, they will reply to your email, they will whitelist your email address, they will open your emails, they will click the links in your emails, and even move certain emails that have landed into the spam folder into your primary folder. Does this then mean that when you warm up your email address, everything is going to be done for you automatically to your subscribers? No. Your subscribers will not receive any emails within the warmer itself, alright, which is a third-party user interface that we are using. Everything that they will do is within their own back-end system. Their whole algorithm will help you to warm up your email address as per what I mentioned to you guys just now. So without further ado, let's go straight to talk about how exactly to set up your warming process. Referring back to part 3 of my training series where I'm using my students' Bluehost account, since Bluehost has recently changed its interface. So the moment you log into your Bluehost, move under hosting. So what we're trying to do is to get hold of that email address that we have created from part 3 of this training series. Now, once you click on hosting, scroll all the way down until you see this server email option. All right, by default, again, it's on email accounts. Hit continue. Okay, so this is the email address that she has created. Now, what we are going to do now is to hit on connect devices. Scroll down and stand by all the mail client manual settings over here. Next, please proceed to the link in the description box below this video, whereby you're going to see this particular interface called warmbase.io. Within Warmbase, every single email address that you tend to warm up will cost you about $9 every single month. So it's on a recurring subscription basis. This is the very first thing that you will see in Warmbase the moment you log in after making the payment for the subscription. So click on Others, then click on Next. Now these are all the settings that you need to put out in terms of your SMTP settings as well as your IMAP settings. So the name will be your name, your first name that you're using to send out the emails. So this is naturally the email address itself. Now, where do you get all the server's information as well as the port number? This is where we have to refer back again to the mail client manual settings. Now, incoming server refers to the IMAP settings. Outgoing server refers to the SMTP settings. All right. So this will be the server name that we need to input into Warmbase. For your case, you have your respective mail server information. So you need to highlight this whole thing. Subsequently, paste it into the server over here for your SMTP and IMAP settings. Within Bluehost itself, usually these two are the same information. All right, as you can see over here, incoming is mail.justrecommend.com. Outgoing is also mail.justrecommend.com. Now, in terms of the port number, for incoming will be 993 and for outgoing will be 465. So going back again to Warmbase, outgoing, which is your SMTP, 465, incoming 993. Under the encryption box, type in SSL, all right, SSL, then followed by your username, which is usually your email address itself, as well as the password. Now, the password has been created when you initially created this email address. In the event if you have forgotten your password, what you need to do is move over to the Manage option over here. That's what I discussed in part 3, all right, move over to Manage. Type in your new password subject to the password security strength that Bluehost requires. Then hit on Update Email Settings. So proceeding back to Warmbase, after you have input all this relevant information, hit on Test Connection. Over here, there will be 3 different options for you, which is Grow, Flats, and Randomize. If this is a new email address that you are using, I would suggest that you go for the Grow option. All right. Anyway, it costs the same regardless of which option you are using. The maximum email sent per day by default, they set it as 40. You can increase it to 50 a maximum. Warm-up startup, usually I start from 10. Reply rate, leave it at 30. For flat and randomize, it's usually advisable if you have already been using this email address for quite some time and you're at the stage whereby you're growing your email list. So you do not need to start from grow, which means to say they're going to start sending progressively every day, increasing the kind of emails that they're sending. All right. And once everything is done, hit on the start button. So for my case, I'm not going to do that because my student has already warmed up all the way since on the July 9th until now. So there's already 2,000 over emails that's been sent. 617 has replied using their own backend algorithm. There's nothing you need to do at all. Assuming you have more than one email address that you're trying to warm it up, all you need to do is to hit on Add Inbox over here. And from there, they will ask you to upgrade the limit. The moment your email address warming process status is under active, you will start to receive a lot of funny emails that you will see within the inbox of that email address. So for my student's case, will be jasmine@justrecommend.com. Now, what I suggest to you is leave all these email addresses alone. Don't attempt to open them. Don't attempt to create anything within them. Just leave it alone because the algorithm will do all the job for you. So this is called an automatic warm-up process. Of course, there's another process for you to warm up your email address without the need to invest into the $9 every month, which is pretty simple. All you need to do is to create multiple Gmail accounts using different cell phone numbers. Use that email address that you have created within your own domain hosting platform. Then from there, start to send all these emails within your own Gmail accounts. When you start to receive the emails in all your respective Gmail accounts and you notice that they're in the spam folder, just manually drag them into the primary folder, open the emails, click on the emails. Now, this is a very manual and tedious process. So I would seriously suggest for you guys who really have the budget to do that, just go ahead and subscribe for this Warmbase. So with that, I conclude part 4 of this entire training series, and I will see you guys in part 5.